Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight alternative review. What we have here today is a character named Shizuke. Suzuki's power is Yari of Justice. His weapon is a Yari, and here is his basic speeds. This is a brief history. Anybody who wants to read this can just pause. There you go. Shizuke's appearance seems to be old samurai style garments. And here's the Yari, which is just a long spear, with the end being a blade. And in this case, it has also two blades along the side. Yeah, Shizuke's special ability, I might call him Yari, accidentally. But I mean, if they are gonna implement them, they might actually just call him Yari, just to kind of be kind of like a roundabout joke thing. Shizuke's special ability is Yari of Justice. Shizuke prepares to strike his victim by concentrating the strength of his spear, or concentrating on the strength of his spear. Press the ability for Shizuke to begin preparing to attack. Each second, Shizuke slows down and soon stops. If you let go of the ability button before Shizuke stops, he will make a quick and long dash forward, wounding himself deeply and stabbing you. Then the subsequent dash takes him to the near death state. If you release the ability button when Shizuke stops, Shizuke will immediately put the survivor into a death state. But the jerk will be shorter, and one spike will appear near the survivor's avatar. If there are 3 such spikes, Suzuki's normal attack will put the survivor into a near-death state. Maximum concentration blows. This is when he stops. When clamping the ability button, Shizuke breaks walls and pallets. After the attack, the ability has a cooldown of 20 seconds. Now, the way that I'm interpreting this is when you hold down the power button, Suzuke slows down in speed and begins a charge. If you tap the button and let go before he completes his full charge, he'll make a quick long dash forward. And I'm assuming presenting the deep wound effect on the survivor after stabbing them. If he does this dash attack and hits them again afterwards, it takes them into the injured state. If you hold the particular attack button for him to completely stop and fully charges up, which can just have a blinking effect like the Huntress's hatchets are completely charged up, he will immediately put you into the dying state. However, the lunge will be shorter, or jerk, by any case of that, will be shorter. And then each time that you are stabbed, one spike will appear on the survivor's avatar. If you have 3 spikes, so after he's done these short attacks and has stabbed you 3 times, a regular, normal attack will put the survivor into the dying state. Maximum concentration blows, aka whenever you let go of the charge button, allows Shizuke to break walls and pallets. After the ability is used, there is a 20-second cooldown in between uses. So going over it again, you hold down the button to charge. If you let go before it's full charge, you will dash. If you hit a survivor, it puts them the deep wound status effect and adds a stake or a spike to their name. If you hit them 3 times, then a single regular attack will cause a down state, which they might shorten that till after the 3rd spike. You'll just go immediately into a down state just to make it simplified. If he hits you twice with a short dash while you're still wounded, he will then go into the near death state, which I'm assuming is just an injured state. Or could be a dying state. I don't know. Generally, it'll go... Well, yeah, it'll be dying state. Yeah, into the dying state. If he completely charges, it's just an immediate down if he hits you with this complete charge state. So, short attack, deep wound, dying state. If he hits you 3 times throughout the match and then hits you with the regular attack, it's an instant down. And if he does a full charge attack and hits you, you're going down instantly. Each attack has a cooldown of 20 seconds. This will probably be changed up, or at least I would change it up to super quick charge attacks, having a shorter cooldown than an actual all-out attack. Or even vice versa, depending on the speed of which the charge, and if they're actually going to nerf the jerk, whatever that specified is on the full charge. Now, I think what he means by jerk is before, when you're charging up and you let go, he's going to have a backwards jerking motion and then go forward. And then when it's completely charged up, there's no longer a jerk. It just, or a long extended jerk. It's just a straight at him type motion. That might be what's inferred there. If that is how it is, or ends up being at the end of all of this, then I would make the cooldown for a charge attack and then a regular attack different. Same as with, regular attack and lunge attacks. Lunge attacks have a higher cooldown, while regular attacks don't. However, in this case, you might want to reverse. I also forgot to mention at the beginning that Shizuke, which I think I have, is a samurai type build. At least he's in samurai type armor, from what I can see. Would take after the ONI. The ONI has his sword, and then he goes into an enraged mode and pulls out his... I want to call it a mace. I'm going to call it a mace because I don't know what it's actually called. And he can one-tap down you, and he can run and hit like that. This particular thing is combining everything into one. Instead of having to charge up blood and all of that, you can just charge up the weapon. So it's essentially a reusable, always constantly moving and using power ONI, which would make him the perfect alternative for this. His skill is Blood Wings. The assassin walks on bloodstain. His speed is increased by 4%, 6%, 8%. Going over this, like the previous video, I mean, I did read into the actual stabbing and things like that, and had to think about how everything, was going together. Because I think somewhere it says this was like Google translated. Maybe it was the last one I did. Blood wings. If the assassin or samurai or ninja or whatever you want to portray him as, I'm gonna say assassin because that's what's there, walks on bloodstain, his speed is increased by 4, 6 to 8%. It'll be specified, but I don't know if this is additive to the actual lunge, because if a survivor's running in a straight line and you lunge afterwards, I don't know if you're gonna get an 8% increase of speed or distance or whatever that equates to. I don't know. It'll have to be specified through the devs if they actually do it. Justice. If the assassin grabs a survivor, all survivors in the terror radius will scream and receive a blindness and forgetfulness debuff for 50 seconds. Cooldown of 90 seconds. And family gift. If survivors heal a survivor that was rescued from a hook at least 30 seconds ago, the healer will receive a deceleration debuff for 4, 8, 12 seconds, and each quick window pallet climb will add 1.2 seconds to the debuff. The way I interpreted this is the survivor that rescued the other person from the hook receives the deceleration debuff for 12 seconds if they heal that survivor within the 30-second gap. The improvements, I'm just going to scroll through. I'm not going to completely go through all of these, because if it is implemented and stuff like that, the actual devs will probably go through and rewrite most of these. This also gives you something to comment about. If you do elect to come to the forum and actually say, hey, you know, this is cool, this will give you something to talk about. The village maps and stuff like that, he wants to implement a burned village map or something like that. I'm just going to briefly go over this, because this is, like I said, alternative killers. You probably won't get your own map or anything like that, but getting your character into the game is what we're trying now. Afterwards, maps can come later. I read through all of this, and this is what I've got out of this. So his Yari of Justice, this charge attack, I said that the perk seems fine as it is, except it's like the ONI, except balanced where you can use your weapon whenever you want. The ONI has to get blood to pull out his actual mace to one hit down, when the Yari of Justice can, that attack can be used to deep wound, to injure, or just to straight up down somebody. The longer it's held down, the stronger it gets. I also stated, if they ever did an alternate version of this, this would be a perfect fit for the ONI, because this is right along that same theme. Justice perk. If the assassin grabs a survivor, all survivors in the terror radius will scream and receive a blindness/forgetfulness debuff for 30, 40, 50 seconds. Now, I'm assumed that the blindness is regular blind and forgetfulness is like the concussion effect. I don't know what he means by forgetfulness. If there's an effect that I'm not aware of, feel free to comment it down. But I think the forgetfulness is either the oblivious status effect. That's what I thought it was. Oblivious, not a concussion. That's the other way around. The oblivious status effect with the blindness status effect. If they meant concussion or something like that, comment that down below. I said it backwards. Now, I said because this perk is Remnants of Infectious Fright, which makes survivors scream whenever a survivor is downed, I think. They're put into the dying state. Starstruck exposes anybody that's within a particular terror radius. And Knockout, which is what I was thinking of before, has the concussion effect where people can't see. where you are when you initially go down. I recommended reworking it and making it a hex perk instead, since it's a combination of different perks that are already in existence. The only way to really balance that is make it into a hex, so you can combine different effects and survivors can actually deactivate it. So imagine somebody running Starstruck with Justice, or a Knockout with Justice, or, any type of, perk that has a terror radius thing hooked in with it, would really buff Justice up. Family gift: if survivors heal a survivor that was rescued from the hook within the 30 seconds, the healer will receive deceleration for 12 seconds. Each window or pallet climb will add to the time of 1.2 seconds. The perk seems fine as it is. Like, completely fine. This stops, it tries to misdirect survivors from unhooking off the hook and then healing under the hook and then going back to the game. It just extends the game by a little bit, because now they have to wait 30 seconds to heal. It also tries to make survivors use different perks, like self-care, or when boon totems comes and things like that, to heal themselves, as opposed to getting that fast heal off the hook, if that makes sense. Now, I put as kind of a joke, but kind of not, for my personal sanity. Can you add the line, each time a survivor is unhooked from hook, when you are at least 24 meters away? To prevent killers from camping and tunneling, which I'll go over that in a second. So, if I pull a survivor off the hook, boom, and the killer comes back, not only are they getting a boost off of the blood puddles and stuff like that, to where they can just easily re-down, which any camping killer, you've all been through that. But if I take my friend off the hook, and the killer is nearby, and I heal them, and do that, alright, I'm gonna heal you even though the killer's kind of on their way type situation, and I heal my buddy up, I now have 12 seconds of deceleration, which is more than enough time for the killer to walk up to me, slap me, I get a small speed burst, but then I'm re-slowed after that. So you can add in, until you receive acceleration debuff for 12 seconds, or until injured or something like that. Or even worst case scenario, I'm decelerated and I really can't do anything in a quick manner, which lets the killer, who's camping, walk over, get a full spear charge, and then immediately down the other person. I mean, the perk is fine how it is, but I would like the killer to at least be X amount of distance away, so you can kind of get rid of that old camping thing. It don't have to be added, it's just me being nitpicky, but I would like that line to be added, just to kind of push away from that. And I said the only major issue that I seen during the whole thing is with all the perks being ran at once. The character itself and all that seemed to incentivize tunneling and hook camping, aka what I said before. After you hook somebody, after they get unhooked, you could run over, chase them using their blood puddles and all of that to get that small speed boost to re-down them. Or if they heal, and you allow that to happen, you can slow down the person that just unhooked them and immediately hit them with the charge attack after the healing's done, or getting a second hook. Now, like I said, if it's by design, it's completely fine to implement, because there are some killers that thrive on camping. Like Bubba, for instance. Bubba thrives. If a Bubba decides they're gonna camp, you can either risk your own life in a down, adding to a snowball effect, giving him the victory, or you can completely go and do gens and accept that that one person's gonna die, possibly even two, depending on how situations go, and then just get to the next game. So if it's by design, go ahead. It's a good implement. It's a good thing like that. It's a killer that thrives on, camping. You can chase people and get your spears and stuff like that. It's very adequate at that type of gameplay. But perk-wise, like I said, it just kind of incentivizes more camping and tunneling than actually chasing people around. You'll get more bang for your buck if you camp. But ain't that all with most survivors? As I said, as you're aware, hitting a survivor gives them a slight speed boost. Blood Wings gives you the speed to catch them with the 8% speed, plus Bloodlust, if you get those tiers up. It's even more speed on top of that. Once down, if anybody is within the terror radius, which can be increased with distressing or agitation, you can you can use that to basically conceal yourself. Because like I said, I'm assuming you're getting the blindness and all of these other status effects from that. If it's not how it is and I'm wrong, I apologize and that can be addressed. But if it is like I think it is, whenever you pick somebody up, it's giving them, or everybody that's in your terror radius, the ability of not seeing where you're taking or hooking the survivor unless they're actually looking at you as it happens. So if they grab you, use agitation or something to get that speed increase, and they take you all the way to the back of the map or somewhere else and nobody near you sees it happening, everybody's just running around. Kindred and other things like that won't proc, and nobody will have any idea where you are. Which I stated, you can use aura detecting perks like I think it's Pyramid Head's perk where he kicks a generator and does all that in his no, it's not Pyramid Head. It might be. He gets the undetected status. Might be a hillbilly perk. There's Huntress's perk when they get tier 1 Bloodlust. Their undetected status come. I just pointed out Insidious because I didn't really want to look anything up. You can literally hook somebody, wait with Insidious. As soon as somebody comes along and pops them, you can redown them. Or you can wait at a crossway where you think they're going to go and you can just spear hit one of them as they're going through. Or like I said, chase the person that's healing them afterwards, if they elect to heal, and get another down that way. Which is what I say here. If you're late getting back to the hook after the survivor gets healed, you have an easy chase on the one who rescues them. If not, you can just follow the blood and redown that person and lather, rinse, repeat. Now, I did state that also that the perks themselves can become way too overpowered if they're put on like Wraith or if they're put on ONI or something like that. You imagine a Wraith with his perks being invisible with the increased run speed, or chasing somebody with increased run speed coming out of the invisibility, chasing someone that gets injured, getting even more speed with Blood Wings, and just zooming across the map and slapping people. Or Oni during his dash attack, finding some blood on the ground, or, as he's chasing somebody the entire time. The blood orbs are coming out. When there's a blood trail, which he can follow that even faster. If it stacks with his running attacks and all of that, it's kind of ridiculous. having the pig would actually get a very good buff with Family Gift and Justice. Family Gift being the one with the deceleration debuff and things like that. If you're trying to put traps on people, you know, there's 2 gens left, something like that, and you're just knocking people down, putting traps on them, and then picking them up, and then hooking them, or even better, just picking them up, dragging them off a little bit, and then dropping them somewhere off to the side or something, depending on how the way your strat plays pig or whatever. Family Gift and Justice could be right up your alley for that. You pick up a survivor, everybody around them in a tear radius screams. That gives you another victim that you can go for. Or you can go pig, Family Gift, then, I don't know, Starstruck or something like that. With Justice. Then imagine Bubba or the Hillbilly with Family Gift. Imagine you take somebody down, you heal them up, and then a Bubba comes around while you're decelerated, or a Billy. What do you do in that situation? You're slowed down, and if you vault or do anything like that besides use a pallet to escape, you're adding more seconds to that timer. That is way, way too OP to be given to the Hillbilly and Bubba. Way too OP. They would absolutely wreck you. Or if they can't really get to you and they get that mouse 1, now they have, especially Bubba, a blood trail to go along with this chainsaw, along with the speed add-ons and everything else. Way too OP for all of that going together. So now you have an even faster Bubba and a slowed down survivor. But like I said, I might just be being nitpicky. I just want to give the creator something to think about. Like I said, they have a map, you know, that they want implemented, hopefully in the future. But right now, we're just focused on getting the alternative builds. So what we have here is Shizuke, samurai style assassin from around that era, I'm gonna assume, with a Yari, which is a spear, the blade here, and then there's blades coming out the side here. Well, that's gonna be my review. I'm not gonna go over new chapters called Brutal Justice or anything like that, because we're shooting for alternative characters. Like, instead of having them create this entire theme around everybody, around the particular character, and happen to make a new survivor if there isn't one included and things like that, we just want to make, or give behavior the idea of, hey, what if we had an alternative ONI that had a charge attack and all of this, and ONI played completely different. The idea is just to extend the idea and offer Dead by Daylight more content without making them have to spend, you know, months and months redoing everything, adding new things in, and then making a map and another survivor and a whole bunch of other different things on top of that. Same with alternative survivors. Some alternative survivors, which I may go over. Right now, I want to just focus on alternative killers, because it adds a lot more content than alternative survivors. But thank you for watching, and as always, remember to supplement your lifestyle. I'm Q. Probably going to be the same description as in the last video. If you caught that, I'm probably going to reuse the same description in all of the videos, so you should only have to watch it once. And thanks.